It's funny. I often get this spot in the day, which is exactly at the right time after lunch that you're like all ready to fall asleep. Okay. So, I know you guys are kind of awake in the front here, so think fast. So, we like to do things, mix things up a little bit, and I got to get you guys kind of woken up and kind of going because we're going to have a really exciting day. It's not going to rain, okay? We're going to go get on a cool boat and check out the city, right? So one thing I want you to do is everybody stand up. You've been sitting for like 2 hours or something like that. Stand up, and we're going to do my watch tells me to do this like 15 times a day or something like that, okay? We're just going to do some torso twists. Try not to hit your neighbor. We're going to do 3 of these. So this is like, it's just like this. That's 1. That's 2. Okay. And there's 3. Okay. So you guys are done. I don't want you to like overexert because, then we could have injury or something like that, And actually, that was kind of a little bit fun, right? It was kind of unexpected. And that's kind of what you want to do in your YouTube videos as well. But I was really surprised about the mic coming out, though. That was kind of that surprised me, right? I hope it's not broken. They'll probably make me pay for it out of my paycheck. So I'm a Googler. I just started not too long ago, and I'm what they call a G Suite specialist. Our team chose that title because Smarty Pants Know It All was already taken. And so we couldn't do that. But we're basically a team. I work with U.S. government. And so what we do is we're when our customers are being held captive by some other, big business with blue labels and things, we come in and we help free up the technical challenges that are going on, especially when you're adopting G Suite. But before that, I was a GDE. And it actually goes back quite a ways. I was just like you. A year ago, I was actually right where you guys are sitting going, oh, what's going on? This is really cool. I want to learn all the new Google stuff, right? And so, I wanted to kind of, convey a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit more about my history. But first, I want to just kind of ask you all, to go ahead and raise a hand. This is very interactive, by the way. I like interactive because I got to get the blood flowing because boat ride, it's kind of almost like doing a little rain dance, anti-rain dance, I mean. So show of hands, how many of you have done some kind of a GDE activity like, posting or holding an event or something like, doing a YouTube video or producing something? Okay. I know if you're here, you should be answering yes to this. Okay, it was a trick question. We asked those at Google. I didn't want to ask you how many ping pong balls fit in a 747 because that's getting kind of old school. All right, so give yourselves a round of applause because it takes a lot. It takes a lot of passion to go in and do that and to be able to do that thing. Okay, so you guys heard that applause, right? That's baseline. Okay, that's our baseline applause. Okay, and that's where you're at right now. That's where you're at. With YouTube, I want to tell you guys, I'll tell you the story, I'll tell you the secrets of how I got a successful YouTube channel, okay? And so we have to start with the baseline, right? That's where we're at. So you heard where that was at. Let's try to 10x that. Can you guys give me 10x on that? Come on, 10x. Woo! All right, not bad at all. I like that. That's pretty good. But you know what? YouTube is a massive platform. First, let me ask you this. How many of you have seen me on YouTube? Ego crushed. Well, that's all right because, I'm having, right now, today, we have about 1,000 people a day show up. Just to kind of give you an idea what that is, that's this room times about 20 that show up every day to watch videos. We just hit one of our bigger goals earlier this year, 1 million minutes of watch time, which if you were to sit somebody down in front of a computer and have it watch 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, that would take them about 500 years to watch all those videos. So it's definitely where we're getting to. It's a gigantic market. It's huge. It's no wonder you haven't seen those videos because there are billions of people out there and they're waiting to watch your content. You guys are the best in the world. You really are. And whenever I come back from one of these events, my wife's always like, why are you so charged up? I'm like, I was just at an event with the best in the world. I mean, they know the stuff in and out, and it's great to spend time with you guys, right? And the rest of the world needs to know about that too, okay? So you'll need to get the YouTube channel. Now, I want to kick it up one more. You guys heard baseline. You heard 10x, okay? Show me 100x. Wait. Okay, go. 100x. Come on, stand up. Let's go, come on. That's not 100x. Okay, I'll get you guys there. Don't worry. I'll give you the secret so you can have a YouTube channel that'll do 100x. Okay. All right, so there's a couple things that you need to do to have a successful YouTube channel. All right, the first thing, and I have 3 things. Do I have a slide here somewhere? Can you guys just advance one from back there? Or there's no computer here. There's just this. Oh yeah, look at this. It's funny. There's this little pink tape thing here that it actually fits in. That's okay. Okay, this is my slide. They actually gave me a deck with like 49, I think I counted as like 49 slides in there. I thought, this is great, it's already done. But then I looked at them, they were templates, and they had all these icons and these really cool images and a lot of really nice text and all those kinds of things, really cool pictures and stuff like that. I thought, wow, this is really cool. So I made a copy of it so I can use it later for other presentations. But this is the slide I came up with out of all that. Okay, it's the only slide I'm going to have for you today, but it's the most memorable thing I want. And I know earlier you heard Naveen talk about story, right? Story. It's here in this quote too, because it's really, really important. If you want to have a successful YouTube channel, you have to have a great story. And I'll tell you how to incorporate that into every single video. So the first thing we want to do when we're creating a video is all that content and all that knowledge you have, right? You need to distill it down into 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, now trust me, I made plenty of mistakes when I first started doing YouTube videos. I have one of my most popular YouTube videos is like 45 minutes long. I can't believe people actually sit through the whole thing. I think they actually scrub through it and watch it like on 2x or something like that because it was actually a live stream. But what we found was when we shortened our videos up, less than 10 minutes, more people watched them. If they're too short, only like 1.5 minutes, people don't watch them because they don't think there's enough content there that makes it worthy. So that little block, when you do a YouTube search, it shows the title, really important. Tell people what you're going to actually do in the title because then it'll come up in the searches and that's what they're looking for. And the number of minutes. Those are important because if they're going to sit down and consume something that's an hour or an hour and a half long, they're going to be like, well, my boss isn't going to go for this. I can't watch an hour and a half video. It's too much of a time commitment for most people, and our attention spans just don't range that much. So we have to go with short little 5-minute videos, okay? Now, there are more steps. There's actually 3 steps I'm going to tell you. But I did want to fill you in just a little bit more so you can really understand kind of where I was coming from with this. So, way back over here, it was about 12 years ago, I guess. I was a state worker at the New Mexico Attorney General's office, and I was really interested in this Google Apps Script thing. And I just started getting into it, and I was talking to the engineers. It was brand new. There wasn't any documentation on it because they hadn't even written the documentation. So we started working on that. And I got to be pretty good at it. I thought I was pretty good at it. And then they opened up the help forum, and I started reading other people's questions. I'm sure you can do this too on your platforms. I'd read the question, I'd go, wow, that's a really great question. I don't know the answer. So then I'd start grinding away at it until I'd figure it out. In some cases, because we didn't have documentation, we would actually type dot at the end of the function. We'd type dot and wait and see what would show up in the autocompletes because we didn't even have any documentation on what the methods were, right? And then we would choose something out of that. And I'd start answering these questions. And then once I got the question, I'd put it in the post. If it was too long, I'd put it on a website. And I thought that was really great. And that went on and on for about a year, okay? And I answered thousands of questions. That's actually how I became a top contributor, which is the predecessor, I think it's the predecessor to GDE, but it's called the Top Contributor Program, right? And so, how many of you are doing that? Are you answering help form questions? We're super interactive, right? See, look, you guys are already doing exactly, you've already started on the path of success here, right? Okay. So the next thing I did was, I was like, well, now I'm seeing a pattern of, I keep answering the same question over and over again. And people are having trouble finding that. So I wrote a book. Actually, I partnered up with Google. They said, this is a great idea. They strong-armed O'Reilly into allowing me to write a book, which was probably the worst idea. I'm terribly dyslexic. I can't spell at all. So it's like, it took a lot of editing. It took a lot of editing. But we put a story at the beginning of each chapter. And that book did pretty well. And once it released, about 2 weeks later, we decided we had to write the second copy because it was completely outdated. And so we wrote the second copy, and that sold about 60,000 books. So it was, and it's still selling today. You can still go to Amazon and buy my book on AppScript. And it's, and so it was answering the questions, and it was telling a story, and that's what people, when they would write back to me about the book, they'd say, the story at the beginning of the chapter is what really connected me to it. I understood what we were going to do next, okay? And so Google called me out to, this is moving ahead a little bit further. I wasn't working at the state anymore. I was freelancing, like I'm sure a lot of you. How many are freelancers or business owners? Okay, yeah, see? You guys are doing the same things. All right. So, and you know, I was freelancing and that kind of thing. And Google invited me out and said, hey, we got this thing called App Maker. We want to show it to you. And I thought, this is great. This is going to be awesome. Because they kind of gave me a little prelude of what it was and showed me a little demo. And I thought, this is really amazing. I'm going to bring my whole team out and we're going to see that. All right. And so I brought them all out and I'm sitting there and I've got my business partner there and she's sitting there. She's not technical. She's not a developer by trade. But it's supposed to be a low-code application development platform, right? If you haven't heard of App Maker. And we're sitting there and I'm going through the tutorial and they're showing us how it's all done and everything. I'm so excited. I think this is the greatest thing ever. I don't have to write HTML or CSS or JavaScript ever again, right? It's just going to do it all for me. And I looked over at my business partner and I was like, how, don't you love this? Isn't it great? And she's like, I'm completely lost. I don't know what we're doing. And I realized this light bulb went off. It's like, we need amazing training to make this work. And so that's what I did. I set out to start making the amazing training. I found students. I started teaching them stuff. I created a slide deck. I created I said it's going to be 10 modules long, and I planned it all out. And I had finished writing the first module the evening before the first student started in the class. So I was quickly writing them the whole time because we were doing a week-long class and I had to keep ahead of the students, and that was really a challenge, but we did write it, and then we tested it for about a year and refined it and refined it and refined it, and finally got down to 6 modules, and then we turned it into what we call a boot camp. It's actually called the App Maker University Boot Camp. And it's 74 videos long. It spans 8 hours of complete video. Each of those 74 videos is broken down into about 5-minute chunks. So it's really easy to consume, and it's a great product. And so that was the piece that kind of was the catalyst. But it was moving ahead to that. Let's go from paper and books and blogs to video. Then we started the YouTube channel. And we started growing it with the little things that people would ask on the forums. That's where we would start, is those little tiny things that we'd say, hey, that's a really good question. Nobody's answered it. It's not in the documentation. Let's make a YouTube video about it. And people ended up coming, and they can just keep coming and coming and coming. We have maybe around 12. I think our average is 12 new subscribers per day. So we just went over 6,000. 1,000 was our goal. So that's pretty good. We're pretty happy about that. And 1 million was actually our goal. So the second step. So do you guys remember what the first step was? Because I kind of tried to distract you a little bit with that story. Okay, first step, make it short, 5 to 7 minutes. It's important. Cut your videos, record it all, record your screencast, do that kind of thing. Cut it short, make the screencast go, put it 2x so that the mouse moves really fast and stuff like that. And then record your voice over the top of it, because you can talk at the speed of what you're doing. Okay? So that's the first thing you need to do. The second one is you need to brand it. And that's actually what we called the title of this thing, was branding it. But that is what it's about, because you need to create an identity for yourself and for your channel. And so at the beginning of every single video, it should have your little logo, and it should roll in, and you should say something like, hi everybody, I'm, and then talk about your channel. 10 to 20 seconds, okay? Don't do 30-second sizzle reel of all the things and all the cool videos and a bunch of animation and all that kind of stuff, because the goal is you want people to watch all of your videos. And if they're having to sit through 30 or 40 seconds worth of promo at the beginning of each one, they're going to get bored of that really fast, and they're going to start scrubbing, and they're going to have to try to figure out where that line is, and they're going to get frustrated, and they're going to leave. Okay, so short, just enough to say who you are. The next thing to do, I forgot the third step. Let's see. Oh, it's right here. Tell a story. Spend 20 seconds, 30 seconds telling a story about what it is. So if it's Have you ever wanted to have signature support in your application? Well, that's really expensive when you try to integrate something like DocuSign. But here with this plugin, and in just a few minutes, I'm going to show you how to do that. So there's your story. It gives them a use case, a way to actually do it. Okay? So that's the number 2 thing, is tell a story. At the end of your videos, it's the same as at the sorry, that was number 3, wasn't it? Sorry, number 3. So at the end of the video, this isn't number 4, it's kind of the same as the beginning. At the end of the video, you're going to have the same thing that you had at the beginning of the video, so you're leaving the video, and that's where you get the chance to say, and if you want to learn more, come to my website, visit my blog, do whatever kind of action you want them to do, and subscribe to my channel. You have to say those things. If you don't say them, they won't do them. So say them, give them an opportunity. Once you get over 1,000 subscribers or something, you can put the big tiles up with to go to the next videos and the subscribe buttons and stuff like that. But you got to get some momentum first. So you just have to say it. Just tell them. Tell them that's the next action. Okay? That's it. That's all we did to gain subscribers and to have a lot of momentum there, to get all those minutes and views. That was it. Well, there was one more thing. Not really a step, but write down all your ideas. Make a big, long list of everything it is that you want to talk about and do, and try to figure out what kind of order it goes in. And then get out the calendar and create some consistency. You do that by scheduling time every week to produce another video. And then get it up there and do whatever it takes to get it up there, because your audience wants consistency. They want to know what to count on. You can tell them, I mean, you can really put yourself on the spot by saying in your videos, and we're going to be releasing a new video every week. I don't know if I recommend that completely, because you may get to an area where you're not releasing so many when you have 100 or so up there. We have about 150 now total. So it's that's it. Be consistent and have a good plan.